Hello, this is Mr. Ahmed Khalifa. Today I'll be marking two of my students' reports. Okay, their responses, two different levels of responses. Okay, uh, the report or review of today reads: You recently took part in the school science fair, and now your teacher has asked you to write a report or a review, of course, on what you have learned from the science fair. Even this is number one. What you have learned, this is number one. And suggest necessary improvements for next year. That's number two. So an email without suggesting or recommending some necessary improvements for next year trip or visit, you would lose marks for if you skipped one of these. Here are two comments from other students in your class. First one: I learned many scientific theories applied to real life situations. The other one: I felt that the fair should be better organized and students should be given more time to prepare. That's the suggestion. Okay? And this is what you have learned, together with what, of course, you don't have to forget your own ideas. You know that. Write a report for your teacher. In the final, you might have write a review, which is fine. Both are the same. Unless you are asked to write a film review or a big review, that's completely something different. We're going to provide examples of film reviews and book reviews, maybe starting from next time. The comments above may give you some ideas, and you can also use some ideas of your own. If here you can use, it shows like there is a possibility that you can go without using them. Of course, this one is, I'm telling you, your own ideas is indispensable. You remember that adjective. Okay, very important. Your report should be between 100, 150 words. That's for the core, and 150 to 100 for what? For the extended. Forget about the core now. So the good one is 180, 190. That would be great, even 200. Okay, let's go to the what يا شباب. Let's go to the samples of what of the report writing. School science fair without mentioning names. Okay. Introduction. This report is written to clarify what was done in the science fair and what most people learned. Moreover, suggestions for next year will be provided. Can you see here the use of the passive form, passive voice? It's really good and recommended in what? In report or review writing. Let us see the summary. I need to tell my student here, instead of writing summary and then findings, which is fine, I have no problem. If you could just give a more expressive, reflective sort of title, that would be great. But this one, I can't say it is wrong. It's fine. Last week on 5th of February, our class went to a science fair outside school in order to conduct experiments that will help us in our studies. Fine. Written notes were distributed. So she's just bombarding us with a lot of facts, which is fine. Were distributed so students would follow up with what was being taught. Furthermore, use of cohesive devices. Students volunteered to take part in some of the experiments. Okay, a good paragraph. Findings. Many statistics in the field of biology were given, including heartbeats of people from different age categories. Moreover, real life situations were being illustrated on the stage, including what? Making circuits for bulbs to light. Additionally, students were taught the safety precautions while working with hazardous chemicals. تمام. Furthermore, but you mentioned furthermore before. I mean, you have a lot to use here, right? Furthermore, you can go for, you didn't use, not to mention the fact that, that's fine, though it sounds less formal, but that's fine. Samples of onion cells were observed by the students using a microscope to connect with what was being taught in the school. That's fine. That's fine for me. Facts are fine. Um, I wish if you could have used some, let us say, opinionated starters, like what? It was interesting to learn. It was shocking to find out. I mean, that would add a lot even to your body paragraph. But that's fine. I have no problem with this. Let us see the conclusion. If you want to say instead of the conclusion, recommendations, that would be great. That would be great as well. The expedition, I mean the trip to the science fair was one of its kind. A bit informal, but that's fine. Many things were taught in an interesting way that grabbed everyone's attention. Okay, I can see here a bit of redundancy, to tell you the truth. I can see a bit of redundancy because he said like what everything that was taught in an interesting way that grabbed everyone's attention. I have got interesting and grabbed everyone's attention. It's almost the same. So just one would be great. However, it would have been better if next year's students, you said it would have been better. So you have to go for what we're allowed. We're allowed to take part in more experiments to gain maximum experience. I mean, that is fine for me. I give like 14 to 15. I think 14, that would be great. On the second thought, I'll go for what? I'll go for 14. I'm expecting more, of course. I will never say your name right now, but I'm expecting more. Together with the facts in the body paragraphs, you can go for opinionated sort of sentence starters. As I told you, it was interesting, it was shocking, it was stunning. And a bit of formal personalization, that would be great. A bit of formal personalization, that would be great. Instead of conclusion, you can go for recommendations, which includes, again, I will never say conclusion wrong, but recommendation would be great. In the beginning, you wrote school science fair. That's fine as a title, but if you chose another title that's suggestive, that would be even much better. Let us see another response. Another response, something that I haven't corrected here. Another response here. Introduction, okay, same science fair. This report's intention is to outline what we learned from the school science fair that was organized by our year 12 students, as well as to point out. And you said here, intention is to outline and, or as well as. You don't have to say to point. You say like what? To give or to point out. Sorry, to point out some suggestions. I will never go for it. Just say to give some suggestions that could be executed instead of executed. Too much for me. I'll go for what that can be what carried out in the future. Okay. A good introduction. I have no problem. A bit long. Okay, because you wrote here 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, like what? Focus more on the body paragraphs for facts and opinion. That would be great. And as you can see here, this student, she wrote only one body paragraph. I don't recommend one body paragraph. It's a very long paragraph, as a matter of fact. And she said she wrote a title like the fair. Okay. Very broad. If you write split, break it down into 2 body paragraphs, that would be great. Even with one title, that would be great. The day of the school science fair was very academic. I don't know what do you mean by very academic. And I will never say the day was very academic. And engaging. I might say the day was engaging, that's fine, okay? As we were well welcomed by guides. For me, I will never go for well welcomed. I'll go for what? Maybe cordially welcomed or warmly welcomed by guides. Again, I will never say well welcomed is bad, but then I added a hyphen here. It might be hyphenated adjective. As we were warmly welcomed by guides who introduced us to a plenty of fascinating activities. Okay. We also had the chance to try carrying out a myriad of different chemical reactions individually. Maybe individually here is going to be a bit misplaced. And if I wear your shoes, I'll go for this. We also had the chance to individually, I'll put it here. That would be more apt, more appropriate, okay? In spite of the crowd of people there. Okay. You are completing or what? So, into your root here, I'm sorry, I need to change color here. You said, in spite of the crowd of people there. And for me, ya binti, this is what? Fragment. Again, I need to change color. This is fragment because it's not a complete sentence. And then you wrote a full stop here. 85% of the students writing statistics is really good. 85% of students thought that experimenting and engaging with each other's projects introduced us to many different aspects we didn't know in our science classes. Wait a minute. 85% of students thought that experimenting and engaging with each other's projects, okay, introduce us to many different aspects of, let us say, aspects of something, aspects of science or something we didn't know in our science. And why you say we didn't know? Like simply like we haven't known. So use the what? The present perfect rather the present perfect. However, it was utterly provoking. And instead of provoking, I'll go for what? Thought provoking. That would be much better. Thought provoking that there was a wide range of grades involved. What do you mean a wide range of grades involved? Which meant spelling, the youngsters didn't gain many benefits from posters made for older students and vice versa. Let me tell you, this is a bit ambiguous. It's unclear. It's unclear. Like, make your sentences very specific, very concise, and make it clear. Like, I don't understand. What do you mean many grades? Like, many students were there? You understand? Because I'm an Arab, I understand, but what does it mean many grades involved? Youngsters didn't, of course, acquire many benefits. We say like gain many benefits maybe from posters made. Why only posters or what? For me, it's a very strange like construction of sentences here. Make your sentences very clear. As you can see here, you wrote like 3-4 facts here, which is fine, but some unclear. Please break down your paragraph into 2. That would be great. Recommendations. All things considered, I believe that for it not to, what is this? What is this? Simply say what? The trip was haphazard. It wasn't organized. It would be better, and you wrote a full stop or what? So if not, just write a dash. Write a dash. It would be better off if it was. I will never say if it was, I'll say if it were. If it were done separately, there is spelling command, for different age categories. I mean, too much. Fee, sort of what K is here in writing. Exclusively for our grade level, that would be fine. And this is what I wrote for you. If it were done exclusively for our, or if it were organized exclusively for our grade level, that's much better. That way, we could get the maximum benefit from the fair. Okay, fine, this is okay. Moreover, it's high time we prompt the organization of such events more frequently to make the studying experience more fascinating. What do you mean if we prompt? Firstly, the verb here has to be what? Past tense. Why? It's after it's high time. So it's high time, always followed by what? By high. What kind of organization? What kind of organization? I mean, of such events. If we prompt, I will never say prompt, that's for sure. The organization of such events more frequently to make the studying experience more fascinating. I don't understand this part, as a matter of fact. Okay, you might ask about the mark I have given. Of course, on the second thought, I will never give the 13. 12 is more than enough. 12 is more than enough. My comments on this recommendations, please be concise, be clear in stating your ideas. Okay, write at least two body paragraphs. Of course, I need even more facts. I need recommendations to be clearer than that. These are the two samples of my students. Thank you very much. Wish you every best of luck.